What it mean to be the best? Riding foes, feeling unimpressed. Make me reminisce, throwing bows, bend the corner, set my mind up on a goal. All I know is stay down, bad, I'm the goal. Okay, feel like the best, the great. Now ain't no debate. Yeah. Okay, feel like the best, the great. Now ain't no debate. Yeah. I ain't gotta say much. Know the boy got a touch. Another win for the rush. Another win for the rush. See me once and got a crush. See you twice and that's enough. Get the ring sized up.
What it do? The 2025 NFL Draft Week is finally here. We are within 48 hours of this thing all being over.
Draft Week.
It is almost time for the first round, and obviously the Chiefs are coming up on a very important draft for getting either started on a new dynasty or continuing one they are currently working on. DG, CJ, how you guys feeling with Draft Week finally here?
48 hours away, baby.
Thursday. I'm just ready to get
48
hours.
Let's quickly, please.
All the rumors are over. I want to find out. I need answers. What country is it? I need solutions.
Right.
All right. Now no, go ahead. Did you?
No, I was saying tired of mock draft and tired of talking about it. I'm ready to get
to it is unfortunate.
Put pen to paper. Let's go.
We're gonna make you extremely sick about mock draft.
DMac gonna make you do one more. DG will be like,
all right. No. It won't only be one.
Oh my gosh.
I haven't showed you guys the rundown at all.
I knew there was a reason why we were kidding.
DG better be like this, man.
Y'all the last sentence on his text said mock draft. That's it.
DG like, man, y'all got it. I don't feel like doing this, bro.
Oh man, it's gonna be so fun. Anyway, obviously we're here Draft Week. We do have a little bit of Andy Reid and Veach press conferences to discuss. Nothing too crazy as far as what they were able to let us on the inside of. But to start this off, before we get to the mock draft stuff, I did want to ask you guys flat out. Obviously, it is lying season. It is rumor season. I want to do a little bit of exercise based on everything that you guys have seen over Twitter on the last few weeks or months at this point. What is the rumor or narrative or thing that you are sick of seeing as it pertains to the draft? It doesn't have to be Chiefs specifically, but just what are you sick of seeing in general?
Jalen Milroe being a day one pick.
Yeah.
Pointless thing ever. That's disgusting.
Really, Jackson Dart being one too.
Him, both of them. That's the most, and they're both going day one. It's a lock. So, but it's just crazy.
Yeah, I've heard Tyler Shaw can supposedly sneak into the
but he's like 30 years old.
Yeah, I don't know. I've heard some wild stuff, man. Stuff that I know is definitely not gonna happen, but so be it. Trying to think of another one I've heard. I don't know. That's all I got right now. The quarterbacks have been crazy. The Milroe thing is definitely wild. Like, I never expected. I don't know why people are even remotely thinking about taking him in the first round, but to each his own. Good luck with that. May God bless you.
Have fun.
Yeah, but I'll never take them in the first round, if you should speak.
They gave you life.
Yeah.
Sayonara.
Sure.
Okay, so then along those lines, my second question would be, what is the draft rumor or kind of thing that you're hearing as far as narrative that you're believing as far as what could happen on Thursday night? Obviously, everybody in the NFL currently has their draft picks. There have not been any trades yet of draft picks. We are hearing some of the rumors as far as some teams may be wanting out of second and third. Obviously, Cam Ward is the assumed lock there at number one overall to the Titans. Some conversation as far as where the Jags and Pats might want to go. What is one thing that you guys are believing at this point?
I did hear something today that Kelvin Banks Jr. Could be moving up to being a top 10 pick. I could kind of believe that with how tackle needy some of these teams, especially in the top 10, are kind of at this point in time. So I can see that being in a scenario that happens on Thursday night.
Yeah, same thing. All the tackles will probably be gone by 22, 23. I don't expect none of the tackles to even really make it because where's Miami picking? 17? I think that's fine. So once we get past them, we assume the top two are going to be gone, Membu and Will. I expect Banks to be gone by then. At the lowest possible, maybe somebody makes it to Washington, but I don't even see that happening. To be honest, I think all the tackles will be gone by that point. So yeah, I think all the smoke about the Chiefs being interested. I mean, well, they are interested in guys like Josh Simmons or even Kelvin Banks, but I don't think they'll be available unless they're worthy or they think they're worthy enough to trade up for. So I think the more likely option is we either go. It's probably either going to be Luther or trade down. That's like the biggest scenario right now, honestly. So I think all the tackles are probably going to be gone by 20, honestly. That's my opinion.
So I was going to ask you, what do you define as all of the tackles? Because obviously we have, like you said, the top two. We have Kelvin Banks Jr. We have Josh Simmons. Would you throw Josh Connolly Jr. in that group as well?
I like Conley. I don't think the Chiefs like him enough to take him day one, though. I think they do like him.
Chiefs are not aside. Would you throw him in the all of the tackles group, or you would consider him outside of that group that you were thinking of?
It's 1, 2. Well, yeah. No injury history with Josh, yeah. But with the injury history with Josh, then no. Yeah, because if Josh is fully healthy, we're not even having this conversation. He's not nowhere near our availability, or even a lot of teams, because I think he would be a lock for 20. But the knee injury is what's keeping him engaged or even a possibility for us. But I don't think, yeah. Conley could be there. He may be the one, honestly, at this point. Because I've been hearing Josh going higher than Conley now recently. So at least from what I'm hearing from reports and stuff. So if Conley's available, I don't hate it. But I think right now, if he's in the tier, I guess you could put him right next to him. Yeah.
Okay. I was just interested. I think that it's an interesting conversation as far as that's concerned. Let me make sure I have this set up correctly. Yeah.
If that's the pick, I don't like it at all.
Not at 31 personally, not for me personally.
Like I would be severely disappointed night one.
I'm cool with picking him, just not at 31.
Yeah. I think he's a day two or day two kind of guy, in my opinion.
We obviously heard a lot of conversation as far as well, I shouldn't say a lot of conversation. There was a conversation as far as the fact that Ariante Arcery obviously took a visit to the Chiefs, and there was one mock draft that has trading up for him, which nuts as far as I'm concerned. Maybe is an option in the second round, but again, something that I stressed a few weeks ago, the fact that tackle is the most scarce non-quarterback position in the NFL, point blank period, as far as what you need to spend to go get them, and the fact that they don't get to free agency, I think does indicate obviously that it's going to be difficult. It is not going to be easy to make that happen, as far as that is concerned. There you go. I look good. So I think it's interesting. The draft rumor that I would say that I'm buying is that I don't think that you're going to see any of the quarterbacks outside of obviously Cam Ward to go number 1 overall. I don't think any of the quarterbacks are going to go within the top 20 outside of Cam Ward. I think that you get to the back end of the first round and you may see a team make an aggressive move to get back into the first round to go get one of these guys, but that's all. And I think that ultimately guys like Jackson Gart, guys like Shadur Sanders, guys, obviously Tyler Shook, Jalen Murrow, you're going to have to wait on those guys as far as that is concerned. So I think that you could see Shadur Sanders go to the Steelers at 21. I think that's possible. I think that you could see a Giants move up to go get, Jalen Murrow, maybe if they like him, or Shadur if he ends up falling there. I think that the Saints are going to be targeting Jackson Dart, and they're probably going to have to make a trade up to make that happen, it feels like, as well, into the first round from 40. So there are all those things to take into consideration, and maybe that includes the Saints trading back out of number 9 to gain some more picks for a trade back up as well. So we'll see what ends up happening from that perspective. There you go. Along those lines, we did hear from Andy Reid and Brett Veach in the press conference. There wasn't really much as far as Andy Reid was concerned. We did hear from Brett Veach kind of talk a little bit about the free agency acquisitions. And he definitely had some confidence as far as Jalen Moore was concerned, and the fact that he wanted to bring him over, the fact that he was bringing up Trent Williams in that respects as well. We obviously had the conversation as far as Jalen Moore, and both reviewed his tape and also looked at, hey, is he going to be able to play immediately as that left tackle position and be able to be the solution as far as that's concerned? Just as a temperature check, if the Chiefs don't come out of this with a first round tackle, where are you guys' confidence as far as the offensive line plan is going into 2025?
On a scale from 1 to 10, like a 5.
Going into it, yeah, probably 6-ish, somewhere around there. I'm not like uber overconfident, but I'm not gonna be like, I'm gonna give them time to at least get to camp and see how this group kind of gels together at this point. So
if we get to the first and they didn't take a tackle, that either lets you know that the tackles were either too rich to move up for it, so they don't value them that much, or the guys that we thought, i.e. Josh Simmons, falls and they don't think his medicals are good enough to take them. So
yeah,
if they'll kind of let us know by the time we get, like, if they get past Washington and Josh Simmons is still there, his medicals probably aren't good, or that Rick didn't clear him enough for us to take him. So, because I think if his knee's good enough, he wouldn't be having that conversation, him to be available at that point for me. So if they get past 31, I think we've all come to the conclusion if they don't take a tackle, they've kind of let you know how they feel about it. There's a whole bunch of smoke about us taking one. Usually we don't do what everyone says we're going to do. So if we don't take one, I'm not upset at all. I mean, we've kind of come to peace with it. Like, hey, this tackle flight isn't amazing. So I wouldn't attach myself to somebody you're not 100% sure of. Why not go get a player that's an impact player for you day one, like a D tackle that we love, or a Luther? I'm going to say it again. Getting a receiver on that type of deal for the next 5 years is the biggest value you can get at 31, outside of getting your left tackle for those positions that we need for sure.
Okay. I understand that. I mean, I think a 5 is actually not a bad place to land. I would say 6. Yeah, I did see that. My issue, it's funny, I was scrolling over to be able to send some now. Country actually just said it. If he's available at 31, well, then how did that happen? Because we know the tape is first round quality.
Exactly.
There must be something wrong with the medicals. And so again, there's two aspects of it. One, if the medicals are good, he's not getting anywhere near 31, and they're going to have to trade up to make that happen, even if he does slide, which is not guaranteed from that perspective. If the medicals are shaky, and maybe they don't know if he's going to be ready for 2025 or what it looks like beyond, that means the Chiefs have to therefore be confident in what it looks like in that aspect. And B, other teams then have to get a little shaky as far as that is concerned, because they can't afford to not have a first-round pick play for them in 2025. The Chiefs are in a position which they can if the position is worth it enough. And I think left tackle is really the only position in which it is. And because Josh Simmons is a prospect, that'd be worth it. That is a very small needle to thread to have that happen for him to be available at 31, which, as we will explore, I think ultimately will lead that if Josh Simmons is going to be a Kansas City Chief, it will require a trade up to make it happen. I think that's the reality of it. Now, as far as Adam Schefter, obviously he hears things. Other people have heard things. I think that the Chiefs want to solve left tackle. Nate Taylor's kind of talked about that if they could make it happen, sure. But I think that they've also talked about the difficulty as far as making that happen in the context of the draft and these teams passing on them. The answer would be not many. And it's not just from a roster perspective. It's also the fact that, these are GMs that have jobs that they have to try and protect. And not having your first round pick play for you can be a hindrance or a disadvantage that you're putting yourself at for immediate results that can save your job. And that does matter.
For sure.
The Chiefs are in a position in which the GM has really good job security. So maybe they decide to do so. And again, if you bring in Josh Simmons, and even if he doesn't play in 2025, he can still be an incredible value for you if he is ready to roll in 2026. And people have talked about his right tackle ability. Personally, I would say I don't care about the right tackle ability. Put him at left tackle, keep him there, develop him there. Let Jalen Moore go over to right tackle, and then continue to develop, because it's a lot easier to find a right tackle replacement than it's a left tackle replacement.
You're not taking a tackle in the first to be a right tackle. That's pointless. If we do take a guy, he's going to be our future left tackle this year or next year for sure.
Yeah. Well, I mean, again, it's also if Jawan Taylor were to get hurt, then of course, then you could throw him.
Yeah, if you have to, for sure. But
right now, but yeah, the plan as far as that is concerned. Yes, I like Walter Nolan a lot too, and that's another one we will explore as well. The other thing that I thought was interesting, obviously, he made a parallel between Elijah Mitchell and Jared McKinnon, talking about obviously coming over from 49ers, the fact that he's an explosive back, does the things as far as pass catching and pass protection that you like to see, the role that they got out of so much appearing last year, and like we said, got out of Jared McKinnon in subsequent years. So it'll be or previous years. It'll be interesting to see if that's the role that they envision for him. I'm sure it is, but they also, or Brett Veach also acknowledged the fact that there is a significant injury history that does need to be talked about as far as that's concerned. DG and CJ, I think we all kind of agreed that there is an explosive element that needs to come into this running back room. The question I have for you guys, and we'll obviously explore this, on the scales of weight, how important are you putting the ability to be that pass catching, pass protection role? Does Elijah Mitchell factor into any of that as far as you guys are concerned? And how much is that weight for you guys? Is it just simply a tiebreaker as far as what the rest of the running back prospect looks like, or is it something that you guys are significantly considering as you look at some of the guys that they could bring in?
No, I think you consider it, but I mean, his injury history doesn't really make you want to.
Exactly. Elijah don't hold the weight in this running back room. Respectfully, he's a good player, but bro, no.
Yeah,
he ain't played a full season since what, 2022.
Yeah,
so
I think he's an option that you're definitely gonna take a long look at when you get to training camp. But sure. I don't think it's a for sure thing that he's even gonna be a Chief by the end of the day.
Exactly. There's no guarantee he makes the roster. Like, I love Elijah. If this is Elijah from 2 years ago and he's the same player, I don't think the Niners let him go because he was a hell of a running back. He won my fantasy league as a rookie, so or helped me do so to let his first couple years in San Fran. So if he was a healthy player, I don't think the Niners let him go because I don't think they're in the business of letting good, productive, cheap running backs leave their building, especially when they have a guy like Christian McCaffrey with his injury history. So if Elijah Mitchell it's a low risk, high reward type of situation. If he's there and he can play, put him on the field because he has great vision and he can be a great goal line back, especially on short yardage, to complement what we do. But to DMac's point, we kind of already have that with the guy. So needing that speed element is more important than Elijah Mitchell right now. So I don't think Elijah Mitchell holds any type of weight, respectfully, in like the conversation of adding more speed and burst to this running back room for sure.
Okay.
Good player though. I like Elijah. I hate him, but just
yeah.
Andy Reid training camps are known for a reason. Let's see if he can make it through that. So.
Yeah, I got to see him go out on the field and actually prove that he can stay healthy this point in time before I'm even going to attempt to claim that he's going to be anything for us. So
exactly. I think we take a running back regardless of what he does. Yeah. Whether it be we're taking a guy day 2, day 3, undrafted, there will be another running back or two in the running back room than the 3 guys we have now.
And it obviously seems that Brett Veach is pretty intrigued by this class, by the way he talked about it in his presser room the other day. So I think that's he said is the deepest running back class that he's probably seen in a while. So
that's probably the one position we all can agree on. Like us, from what Veach has said, from what guys on like the radio, like 96.5 The Fan and all those guys, I think in the timeline on Twitter, we all agree this running back class is really good and we should leave with at least 1, if not 2 of these guys for sure. Whether be drafted or undrafted.
Yeah, absolutely. And as far as that is concerned, I thought that was the most interesting aspect of it was talking specifically about the draft board. There were some really good questions asked throughout, whether it's by Nate Jacobs or Pete Sweeney, and then Nate Taylor kind of got him to dive into the positional aspect of it. We did learn that he has around 12 or 13 first round graded prospects, which is lower than years prior, which we did expect to hear. And I think that's kind of been standard, but I think obviously that it's notable that it is only 12 or 13 of those guys. As far as that is concerned, that limits the pool of guys that I assume that they would want to trade up for. He also mentioned that they have, I think it was about 206 ultimately draftable players on their board, which is something to certainly keep note of as far as that aspect is concerned. And as we have 256 picks, and obviously the Chiefs own Mr. Irrelevant in addition to 251 and 226, can they get one of those 206 drafted players at one of those spots? I'm sure they'd be happy to take them. Or will it be UDFA quality guys, priority free agency guys that would be graded and brought into Kansas City as well with those 7th-round picks, if they still exist and haven't been traded away, of course, which is possible. Finally, as far as the positional groups were concerned, he obviously talked about, like you said, running backs, and talked about depth in the running backs from 1st to 5th round, which I think speaks to the running back is going to be a fill-in position where they will look to grab him, but they won't be overly aggressive in trying to grab a guy. They'll see where the value is at and then fit him in according to where the rest of the board falls. They talked about, as far as the offensive tackles and offensive line were concerned, that it was a scarce group of guys that they ended up liking as well, which I think is certainly notable as well. And I think that does support the idea that they're not going to be taking a lot of offensive tackles. They're going to be targeting very specific guys. And if they don't grab them, then they may not come away with an offensive tackle as well. They talked about the defensive line group being deeper and, according to Brett Veach, at edge into day 2 specifically than he thought defensive tackle maybe was, specifically for fits for the Chiefs. He spoke about defensive tackle maybe being a top-heavy group, and I think that is worth noting as far as Kenneth Grant, Walter Nolan, Derek Harbin is concerned. Yeah, I've got all these guys in my head, unfortunately. And that group is concerned. But as far as some edges that we've talked about that could be a possibility for them, it'd be interesting to see what they end up coming away from as far as that is concerned. So I think that tells you a little bit about these guys are going to be targeting defensive tackle early and waiting on edge from that aspect afterwards. But he talked about liking some specific guys as far as this wide receiver class and having a taste for, what these guys could bring into the Chiefs wide receiver room. And he also spoke about whether it's running back or wide receiver and a re-emphasis on explosive playmaking, specifically because of what the kickoff return value can have now due to the new kickoff rules. And then talked about having a nice cornerback group specifically that he liked in the middle rounds, as he talked about kind of the 3rd, 4th, 5th rounds that he would like to target too. So I think that tells you kind of how they want to group these guys and where they want to target these guys. I think that was certainly worth noting as far as I was concerned. Anything you found notable as far as the positional groups that Brett Veach talked about in the draft process?
I mean, I think it's been square on where we've kind of been with it as well too, man. I think they value the same kind of positions that we've been kind of seeing in our opinions too: running back, defensive tackle. I know he said he liked the edge class a lot in this draft. So I'm obviously assuming that they're going to address that defensive line at some point in this draft, and try to get more explosive as well. I think that's going to be the main goal of this entire draft. Is just trying to add more explosion and also getting more depth in those trenches.
They've made it clear they're not really going to reach for anyone if they're not feel they're worthy. So I think as far as 31, 63, or 66, me and DG kind of been playing around with some of the mocks lately. So I think a lot of fans need to be prepared that we could trade out of 31 and trade back if a lot of the guys that they want by the time we get to 30 aren't there.
Y'all going to be disgusted.
Fans, the TL is going to be – the real fans, we not going to be mad because we're already prepared for – once we know what guys are falling off the board, by the time we get to 25, if all the guys are gone, I'm like, we're probably about to trade back. And the team that's probably been a possibility I would like to trade would be like Chicago at 39, or maybe someone else. Green Bay has a second pick as well. So there's some options, but I think if all the players that we are liking on day one are gone, don't force it for a player. And I think Veach has made it clear if the guys they don't like are there, they're not going to reach for them. So trading back could be a possibility that people need to be prepared for as well. I wouldn't love it either, but it's reality.
I wonder if people would be happy or sad about trading back. I think that I've heard some people maybe a little bit more excited about trading back. Brett Veach specifically talked about that, he's heard or he thinks that the conversation around trading back is a little bit more viable and hypothetical than it actually really manifests itself as far as the first round is concerned. And I think that's real. I think that obviously these mock draft simulators that we love to do present you with trade opportunities, but that's not realistic. It's a very specific things that have to line up from a quarterback or a value in the 5th round, obviously option to bring into play, the team, the prospect, all those things have to line up. And then obviously the trade aspect of it then has to get done. And he kind of talked about how it's more hypothetical than it is reality. Now, of course, like I personally said, I think that there are going to be opportunities for these teams that want to get up into the first round for a quarterback in this specific class. That can end up happening. So we'll see how it ends up shaking out. But I think that there's going to be support as far as trading back is concerned, if it is the right trade back. And me personally, unless you're getting another day or another top 100 pick, go ahead and get an extra 2026, day 2 pick. I would have no issues with that as far as that's concerned. I'd be cool with that because I think it makes a lot of sense if you trade out and get that 2026 value. I think that in a draft in which some of this talent seems like it's really spread out, I don't mind getting that future value. And again, I think that's market inefficiency. King Mo asked, obviously, about Alpha Colin being available at 95. I'm going to say no. It sounds like he's going to be in the 60s. And
Could be. I can still see him at 95 too.
Big boy can move.
We'll see where it ends up falling as far as the defensive tackle class. Again, a lot of variability there, but I've actually become a little bit more spin as far as Alfred Collins early in the draft process. He felt like more of a kind of just run stopper to me, but I think he's got a little bit more pass rush use than necessarily would show. And obviously, he'd be day one contributor, replacing a guy like Derek Nottie as well. I understand the Darren Porter love. The issue with Darren Porter is I don't think that he fits what Steve Spagnuolo and Derek Merritt would want in their cornerbacks because they want more of the press man type. He's more of the off-ball hawking type of, ball skills, zone coverage type of guy. And ultimately, that is a function, obviously, of him playing wide receiver previously. I do see the two rolling.
You got to be able to play man for sure.
Because he is a very good athlete as well.
I think there's still some development there, too. It needs to happen as far as his techniques and stuff.
He's also a 6-year senior, so there's development to happen there for sure. But he is a older prospect as well that does have to take into account. So along those lines, anything else as far as Andy Reid or Brett Veach talking that you guys want to get into, or anything as far as rumors, anything before we go in and get into the mock draft scenarios?
Nah, I think they're prepared and they're ready.
The boards are cooked.
The homework is done.
The hay is in the barn. Let's get this over with so DG can get this mock going.
The crows are flying around the barn. The pig is in the pasture.
The cows are milked.
You gotta see the crows flying around the barn. Good Lord. The carcass is picked clean.
Yeah. Something like that.
Something like that. I did want to show this real quick. This was the result of our final fan mock draft, ultimately with Mecca Booger going number 1 overall. TJ Sanders in the second round, Dylan Sampson with pick 66, Danny Stutzman with pick 95, Baron Sorrell out of Texas Edge, 133, Tommy Hill at cornerback from Nebraska, Connor Colby, one of CJ's favorite interior offensive linemen out of Iowa, and Moliki Matavao, my favorite late round tight end as far as that's concerned, though I do have one more that's kind of sneaking up on me. It's a little bit more of a 4th or 5th round guy, Mitchell Evans, that I got around to finally watching and enjoyed watching him too. So that was a result of the fan mock draft polls. I had a good time kind of putting those out and wanted to have some fun leading up to the draft. So without further ado, I believe we can get into our first mock draft scenario. Is there a specific running back you're asking about, DJ Scratch, or just in general? Because I think we all agree that they need to add an explosive one. Let me know which one you're asking about. Yeah, I mean,
it's about Porter, another guy like Benjamin Morrison. Oh, okay.
Yeah, Morrison is really good. The problem with both of these guys is I think both of them are going to go in the 40s or maybe early 50s. I would say late 30s, early 40s for both of these guys, really, because I think you're going to see a run on cornerback and wide receiver at the top of the second round of the draft, specifically as you get outside of day one, because teams are going to be picking who they just really like. Benjamin Morrison specifically is a guy I really like based on his 2023 tape. He ended up getting hurt. I don't think that's going to end up happening.
Yeah, that's a wild rumor.
they can't afford to trade Pacheco with their running back room right now. And I know people
we only got one other healthy running back right now.
I know people like are down on Pacheco right now, but
I know y'all down on Pop, but calm down. King Mo, stop wherever you find that, delete that.
He's still a good running back when he's healthy. He's been a really useful piece for us, so I don't think he's getting rid of him. In
It
general.
would shock the hell out of me.
Yeah. We need to add an explosive element to it. If it's an earlier guy, then obviously there's a chance for a 3-down versatility, but ultimately a guy that can form a good run-to puncher Pacheco is what we're aiming for. With explosiveness, speed, and ability to take advantage of space, are the general characteristics. Anything as far as running back that you guys are looking for?
Just explosion, man. They gotta. It's like I said a couple years ago, after they got rid of Tyreek. Even though they still was able to have success last year, going into last year's draft, but they had to have that explosion back at the wide receiver position. So I think this time around, now you need that explosion back at the running back position. So go find the guy that that you feel like fits this system the best, and can come here and add a different element to that running back.
For sure. Speed. Need somebody with obviously good vision, somebody that can be physical, but we need that explosion for sure. We haven't had nobody have like a 50, 60-yard run since D Will in that Minnesota game when Tyreek chased him down. So it's been a while since we've had a legit running back with a home run hit ability. So we need that for sure, whether it be day 2 or day 3, but definitely need it.
Yes, sir.
All right. I think we are, but again, with both of those running backs, it's going to be very difficult.
The price of the brick going up, Mo. They ain't going to be good.
I will say too, RJ Harvey is a guy that I wouldn't mind if they got on day 3 as well too.
Or DJ, either one.
I would be extremely happy with either one of those guys. Like I'd be over the moon with either one of those guys at 133, and I'd be cool with either one of those guys at 95.
Yeah, this class is extremely deep. So I know a lot of people love the Ohio State guys. It wouldn't shock me if both of those guys went in the 40s as well too. At some point.
You might get one of them in the 30s.
Yeah, one of them it might surprise. Really? One of them might go in. Yeah,
realistically
in the first. Maybe
on Henderson a lot. Yes.
Yeah.
And for understandable reasons, for the record, I could get it. And I told you guys this a few weeks ago. If you're going to get one of those guys here in Kansas City, it's probably going to require splitting up either 63 and 66 to move up in the second, move back in the third, or a trade out from the first round pick and taking a running back with that immediate pick somewhere in the high 30s or low 40s to get either one of those guys too. So you got to take it into account. All right, let's jump into the first one. Let's get it started, man. It's gonna be a lot of fun.
DG said, "Let's get it on."
Let's get it on. I'm trying to find the right place to do this so that I actually have the tackles on the board.
Get it on the floor. Get it.
It's not that one. Oh, over there. That's fine. We're not going to do that one because that would be bad.
Hang out, Jalen.
Oh my goodness, that was fast. Let's see.
Set up for BT running back. Oh yeah, Tootin. Yeah, I can see that too.
You got your pick of the litter at running back for sure.
Yeah, the running back class, like I said, I don't think Chiefs Kingdom can be too picky with that group there, man. It's deep for a reason. Whether you get a guy on day 2 or a guy on day 3, I think you're getting pretty good value for wherever you get either one of those guys. There's only really 2 guys I really think are going day 1 for sure, and it's probably Genty and Hampton. I've seen Genty kind of sliding down some mocks as well too. I don't know if that may spark some things as well as far as the run, how the run may go in the second round on day 2. But yeah, man, the running back class is definitely. I think you got some elite guys in this class. Some guys that are definitely gonna be 1,000-yard backs.
DMac got for more. Yes, I do like Jordan James a lot.
Jordan,
and he seems to continue to be underrated. He's a guy that I think at 133 can make a lot of sense for the Chiefs and has a realistic shot at getting there too. So yeah, I think you can get. Yeah, I think you can get a Jordan James one as well.
I think we could probably, not fair, but I think it's reality. DG said we could probably X out Trey and Quinshawn from Ohio State. good backs. I'd love to have them. I think it's going to be too rich for the Chiefs personally. So unless me and DG had a scenario last night, if all the D tackles that we like, all the receivers we like are gone by 31 and they can trade into those high 30s, then I would be okay with taking Quinshawn or trade there if the possibility came about. But the way it's looking now, I think they'll be gone.
Yeah, I think I would end up agreeing with that. All right. Let's see. Hopefully. Perfect. All right. Now we're good to go. Took me a second. I'm sorry, guys. Here we go. Fellas, we are on the board. We have traded 31, 95, and 251 to the Minnesota Vikings for 24 and 187. The board currently looks like this. Obviously, Kelvin Banks Jr. would be a pick that would make sense. I don't think he's a Chiefs tackle. Be honest with you guys. I don't think that's the reality of the situation. I don't think that that's what they want. So we're going to draft Josh Simmons at 24 and then run it from there. So this is a scenario for the Chiefs to trade up and take Josh Simmons. Now they pick at 63 and 66 after trading up with the Minnesota Vikings to 24. The board currently looks like this. Chiefs go offensive tackle. DG, CJ, where are you guys looking for the next position that you want to attack? I assume it's going to be defensive line, but you guys tell me.
DG.
Yeah, I think it's either defensive line or running back right here in the 60s.
Based on this current board, I would take.
Yeah.
I would probably grab one of these guys at 63, 66 because it looks like it's getting late early on defensive line guys that I like. We'll take a look at running back. I don't like any of these guys at 63 or 66 personally. Do you guys disagree with that?
Nope.
Just want to make sure. And we'll take a look at edge. Brady Swinson, Josiah Stewart also kind of look getting late early as far as edge is concerned as well.
Can we take a gander at receiver real quick?
I was going to say that would be the next thing. I do like Jalen Noel, and I would take him at 63.
Royals, too.
I like Royals. I don't know if I love Royals at 66.
Right.
There's nobody
Tight ends, please.
We'll take a look at tight end. Wario and Ferguson are both there. Those are Ferguson a little underrated as far as this board is concerned. I wouldn't take Helm or Fannin.
Yeah.
So 66 tight end may be the play here, but 63 is probably get one of these D linemen here.
Mm-hmm. So tight end and D lineman, I think I can agree with that. I think that's it. I'll take a quick look and see if anybody slid at corner. I would not say anybody slid at corner. So I think that this is an interesting scenario. So if I was picking right here, I think that there are three solid options for defensive line. Personally, I would go Turner, Farmer, Walker, or maybe Turner, Walker, Farmer, either one. That'd be personally how I would look at it. But given the fact that there's three of them, I like Terrence Ferguson a lot. I like Arroyo a lot. CJ, which one of these guys would you pick?
Personally, I have Ferguson over Elijah. I know most people have the other way around, but I'm not mad at either one, but I have Ferguson over him personally. That's just me. I think the run after catch ability, the wiggle is better for Terrence. I'm not trying to say he is Kelsey, but that early rookie stage, mainly the run after catch, he moves like him. Slipping tackles, avoiding defenders. That reminds me a lot of him. He's not as – because you can see by the years from like Kelsey's rookie year in 2014, even after the injury, his wiggle after the catch got much better and improved every year after year. So I think he could have that type of impact on our offense, honestly. And he has the size and frame to also do it. And he's a guy that's selfless, because he didn't get a lot of touches at Oregon this last year when he should have got a lot more. So given the fact of Jordan James and Ted Johnson, the other guys in the offense. So I wouldn't mind him here. And then, like you said, one of your D linemen at 66. So
he's 22, Mo.
Yeah, he's 22, and he turned 22 April 3rd. So obviously he will, continue to be into his 22 season and then 23 season, et cetera, et cetera. Cam Scottaboo is available on this current board. His chances of getting to 63, 66, in my opinion, are probably pretty good. I simply have maintained what I have said throughout the entirety of this process, that he's not a fit for what the Chiefs need. And even though I think he has skills, and I think those skills can be put to really good use for another team, he's not going to fit here. So Terrence Ferguson. We're going to roll with Terrence Ferguson.
Fergie.
The Chiefs have attacked tight end and offensive tackle with their immediate first two picks. Defensive line, I have Shamar Turner personally. Do you guys have any issues with either one of those guys as far as how I rank these defensive linemen?
I love Shamar's versatility, so you good with me, baby. He can play 5 or 3. I'm cool either way.
I think we're rolling with Shamar Turner to add to this defensive line. The Chiefs then roll on to 133 here, and they're into the 4th round, having added Josh Simmons, Terrence Ferguson, and Shamar Turner to the team so far. I think that this is a spot in which corner is certainly going to be one of the places, but I would say running back probably is the first place. I would take RJ Harvey and not blink twice. Do you guys have any disagreement?
Run to the podium.
RJ, you're a chief, my boy.
Congratulations, RJ Harvey. You are a chief. And then we are now at 187. And this would be a place that I would look at corner first and foremost. I don't necessarily like any of these guys really as far as cornerback is concerned.
Scroll back up again.
Oh, scroll back up. Mm-hmm. It's a name on Donald Fortune.
I don't love none of these guys, DG.
Yeah, I don't love it. Jabbar Muhammad is a guy that he's more of a nickel mellow. I would not hear.
Yeah. This looked like is Danny still there?
Linebacker.
I don't think he's gonna fall that far. Yeah, he's not there.
Dang it. Kaiser was on my board.
Kaiser, I wouldn't be mad at.
I don't mind it. Jay Higgins, yeah. Let's look at receiver.
Give me receiver real quick.
Yeah, I'm about to say.
Can't look at receiver. I do like Pat Bryant out of Illinois. I think he makes a lot of sense as far as specifically the size and kind of build aspect that he brings to the table.
I like Nick Nash, but he old as dirt.
Yeah.
We obviously took a quarterback. I think it's kind of, unless somebody really well fell into your offensive lineman. I could be talking to Willie Lampkin, but I'd rather go Pat Bryant personally. I think it is interesting. Oh, well, Barron Sorrell's still there. I would take Barron Sorrell or Pat Bryant personally. I think that it is interesting as far as this draft area is concerned. Like if you were to trade back with the Vikings and get this pick, as far as interior offensive line, but you're just taking so much in that position. I think it's tough. I didn't like any corners. We can take a look at the safeties. DG, you like any of these guys at 187?
Yeah, Mickens, I wouldn't mind. I think it's still kind of a reach at this point.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Personally, for me, I would go Bryant or Sorrell.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind Sorrell. The only thing about Barron Sorrell is that there's, I hate to say it, there's nothing really special.
Mm-hmm.
As you can say, like, I'm not saying like he's just a guy, but I think that he's a solid. I think what you're ultimately getting is another Mike Dana, in my opinion, and Barron Sorrell, a guy who's
they could cut Mike Dana at the end of this year.
Yeah.
As well.
So if that's your plan to replace a guy like him, then I understand it. But I wouldn't have lofty expectations of him, especially in his first couple of years. I think he's a solid player, but I just don't think that there's anything that's like, wow, we got a really great pick here.
What do you guys think as far as the rooms are concerned? Add Pat Bryant or add Barron Sorrell?
I probably would leave towards the receiver, in my opinion. I think giving weapons to 15 is something you just never stop really doing.
Let me see the linebacking room again. I don't love neither one of them guys, bro.
Still wouldn't be mad at Kaiser here either.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind him. A Notre Dame guy. Drew Tranquil will be very happy.
And I think you're getting a guy that would play special teams and could potentially probably play out the gate for you.
Yeah, he could play next to Nick once we moved on from Drew. So I like Jack here.
I do personally like Cody Simon a little bit more than I do Jack Kaiser, but I would have no issue with Jack Kaiser as well. 187, that works for me. We will add him to the linebacker room and then roll on to 226. I think that certainly DB will be a part of this. Melo Dotson is still there, who I would definitely like at 226. I think he brings the type that you're looking for. Upton Stout makes some sense as well. Mac Williams out of UCF also could make some sense. To me, I prefer DB. Well, we could take a look. We could take a look at wide receiver again.
Both of our Colorado guys should be here by now.
Yeah. Warwick, Kirk Woodson, nothing too crazy. Obviously got Horn.
Lashante still there. Yep. Theo still there. Yep. Just gotta kind of get our pick of the litter.
Yeah.
Rocket's still there. Woody Marks, Taj, Jordan James. Be another. I don't mind doubling up.
I don't either.
Don't mind doubling up.
I don't mind doubling up.
But we all know, respectfully, Pop ain't getting that extension. So
no, he is not.
So and Kareem ain't gonna be here forever. So I'm not mad at all. But realistically, I think I would go Jimmy.
You think you would go Jimmy?
I go Jimmy. Give him another weapon. He can eventually turn into a starter if need be. Tough as nails.
Would you consider him an explosive athlete? Well, explosive playmaker more so. That could return kicks.
For sure.
I think that could be talked into that as well. But obviously, you just talked about a smaller guy. 5'8", 175, but he does have the ability to be dynamic and have the ability to return them. So I'm not mad about that as well.
Still got Remigio. So he's still here. So.
Yeah. Then we go to 257. Still can take we got Melvin Smith Jr., who's South Arkansas. Again, still Mac Williams. Jordan James is still there. Ja'Cory Krosky Merritt, also a realistic option that is there as well. Yeah, nothing as far as the D-line is concerned, which isn't surprising. How you guys feeling? Where you guys want to go with this? You guys want to go DB? You want to double up a running back with Jordan James or Krosky Merritt?
Selfishly, I want Jordan James, but I know they wouldn't do it.
I want Jordan James, but I don't think there's snowball's chance in heck of him being here.
Yeah, he would never be here. 257, he's gone by then. So I'm taking Jordan James personally. Right, our running back room would be set. Him and RJ, oh my God.
Yeah, it's insane to get Jordan James here. I don't know this stuff. We'll take advantage of it just because. Well, we'll stay within the realm of realistic things. We'll say that they get a jump on a primary free agent that they want and get a Melvin Smith Jr. with pick 257 to end out this draft as well. So this is what it could end up looking like as far as if the Chiefs were to go trade up for Josh Simmons. Obviously, they trade 31, 95, and 257 for 24 and 187. Go take Josh Simmons at 24, Terrence Ferguson and Shamar Turner in 63 and 66. RJ Harvey Jr., running back at UCF at 133. Jack Kaiser, outside linebacker out of Notre Dame. Jimmy Hort Jr., explosive playmaker to add to the wide receiver room. And Melvin Smith Jr., cornerback out of South Arkansas to add to the DB room. Quickly, grade this draft for you guys.
Give it a solid B+.
Yeah, probably at a B.
Yeah,
not enough. If we'd have been able to steal one of the Ohio State running backs, that would have been A. But for this, I'll give it a B.
Yeah, I'm still kind of skeptical with the whole trading up for Josh Simmons.
If you
I don't
love
like
him,
the scenario of going up and getting a guy that's coming off of a pretty significant injury. But if they feel like that he's a guy that they can develop for the future, and be a significant starter for this team for the future, then I kind of understand it, but I don't love it though.
If Rick clears him, man, we gotta trust him. So it's definitely a red shirt situation if they do it. So I'm not hating it, but it's just scary for sure.
Scary to say the least. Well, that was unfortunate. All right. What just happened? Okay, I'm not crazy. Sorry, I'm trying to set up the next one, so I was making sure that this ended up working from that perspective. I'm sorry, guys. Yeah, let me make sure that this ended up working. Well, we'll skip it. We'll stick with the trade up scenarios and go to the next one in which the Chiefs end up trading up in the first raft. That doesn't make sense. In the first round, and you'll see who exactly we're going to go up and get by making this happen for the Minnesota Vikings and finding a selection for them that's going to be similar to the one that we just did. But we're going to do it a little bit differently and roll with. Let me make sure I grab this properly. We're going to go with a different trade just to see what it ends up looking like. 24.9739. Okay. And we're going to make that trade happen. Ignore those. And we're going to take Derek Hartman, Oregon defensive lineman, who I will be extremely happy to see play next to Chris Jones.
Me too.
Mm-hmm. And we'll see where the draft ends up rolling on as well. Good on that.
Y'all can kick rocks. Quinshon, you a Chief, my friend.
Chiefs have drafted or now picked 24, 63, 97, 133, 139, 251, and 257. So picking here at 63, they have some options as far as the board is concerned. Where do you guys want to look? There was one guy here that is probably screaming out. Who it's a flashing lights.
Yeah. Quinshon, you a Chief, my boy.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Boy,
I was gonna say
fact, baby.
If Harmon is not the pick, then Landon Jackson would be. I feel like he'd be a good option right there.
Y'all can get out of here too. We definitely not trading with y'all. Back up. No,
absolutely not.
Absolutely not. No.
All right. Now we are here. My first thought would just be check the tackles. I'd be happy with Cameron Williams at 97. I could also take Ryan Milliam, to be clear, at 97. But I prefer Cam Williams. I would also take Charles Grant. So I have two possible tackles that can add to your room in the future. Obviously, I think you guys want to look at probably an offensive weapon and the edge as well, and cornerback and linebacker as well. So we'll just take a look. Jalen Royals at 97 could make sense. I don't think I love anybody else. Edge, Ashton Gillette, he makes a lot of sense. Savion Jones possibly, but I think it will be a reach. I think that Ashton makes a lot of sense though. Tight end, we have Gunnar Helm. I can see it. I probably would not take him over either one of the tackles or Jalen Royals though.
Same.
Noah Williams, my guy out of Cal, is there as well. I'd probably still put him behind the tackles, but I do like him a lot. Linebacker, we have Chris Paul Jr. Out of Ole Miss, who we all are pretty happy about as far as an outside linebacker aspect of it. But I would obviously put that behind the tackle. Probably still behind Noah Williams. Oof, this was tough. Kevin Winston Jr. and Andrew Makuba, two very good safety prospects, are both still on the board as well. So how do you guys feel? I think that tackle, Jalen Royals, Ashton, and probably Kevin Winston and Makuba would be the options here. Do you guys have any real strong inklings between that collection?
The tackle is a hard thing to do, but the safety would be nice to have.
I wouldn't mind Makuba.
Because eventually, whenever Brian Cook moves on, you have your fourth safety right there. Makuba.
So you guys want Makuba? All right, we'll go Makuba then.
We'll go Makuba. We haven't picked him yet too much. We're 3 A's in, baby.
Rolling down the draft. As we get to 133, Chiefs pick here 133 and 139. We'll check it's the tackles. Tackles have been picked over, though I would not mind Logan Brown. Yep, tackle has been picked over. Mitchell Evans is still there.
Jalen Conyers, my guy.
Jalen Collier still there at 200. Torrey Horton at Colorado State is a possibility as well.
But he don't fit us.
We will look at edge in that standpoint. I could go Savion Jones. I will not double up on Baron Sewell. I could do Jared Ivey, but it personally just wouldn't be the way that I would go. The linebacker, corner. I could be talked into Zach Frazier at 133.
What it tackles?
Yeah, tackles. I mean, we could do the Logan Brown thing.
Yeah, I'm cool with Logan.
Logan Brown or Chase Long. I mean, either one could make sense as far as that is concerned. DJ, you had something you were going to say?
No.
Okay. I thought I heard you make noise. I was like, oh.
Nah, after these 3 picks,
But is this our first one?
I'm almost checked out. Take
What
where you want.
you want, gang? At this point, we got
I got what I need.
We straight, baby.
Mhm.
All right. Well, he said that he wanted to attack corner in this range. I'm going to take Zach Frazier out of UTSA. I'm going to ignore that question mark. I got that.
Go back to receiver.
I mean, it's almost so good. I almost take 2 running backs, man, because I love DJ
There's
getting
so many of them. I know DJ a dog, bro.
I love DJ getting so much. I almost would
DJ
take him
is a
again,
dog.
man. Especially with this board. I mean, I like Mitchell Evans. If you want to, Mitchell Evans is a guy that next year could do what you have been asking Noah Gray to do for the last few years, which I think is worth it. I don't know if I want to take him though.
It's just really high. Do we want to take? We took a DB. We took a safety. We have our running back. Look at the edges. See if there's anybody that piques my interest.
I mean, we could take Baron Sewell again, but we just did that last year.
Yeah.
I can get with Logan Brown. Let's roll with Logan Brown.
Developmental tackle.
Yeah, Logan kid. Keep it there. That wasn't what I was looking for. Yeah, we'll see if Conyers gets to 251. I don't think he will, but we'll take a peek out. Nope, he's already gone. All right, never mind. As we get here, obviously rolling down the draft. And we're here at 251. I like Andrew Arkansas out of Arkansas, big body wide receiver as well. We haven't taken one yet. I don't really need to go there. We have some guys. I think that we could fit one of these running backs in. A guy like Marcus Yarns could make sense, specifically if you add Quinshon Judkins, specifically that type in the room. So I wouldn't mind Marcus Yarns. I know people like Tyler Brady. I'm a little iffy. In the defensive line, we already got safety and corner. Linebacker has been pretty well picked over. I don't like any of those guys specifically. I like as a poll. We've already taken developmental tackle. I'm going to grab Andrew Armstrong, and then hopefully we'll grab Marcus Yarns and then finish out the draft. That's a good way to finish it out. So let's say the Chiefs end up trading up for Mr. Derek Harmon. What could their draft end up looking like? Derek Harmon, Quinshon Judkins at 63, which would be an incredible start to the draft. Andrew Makuba, safety out of Texas, would be great. Zach Frazier, UTSA corner at 133. Logan Brown at 139. Andrew Armstrong, wide receiver out of Arkansas. Marcus Shaw, running back out of Delaware. What are you guys grading this draft?
This is probably a minus for me. I just love the first 3 rounds. I think this is what
your first 3 picks will be starters for you for the next 4 or 5 years. Logan Brown can end up being a swing tackle for you if need be. You got another diamond in the rough tackle with Zay Frazier. We know how Veach, Coach Merritt, and Spags do with those guys. And then you got more depth at receiver and running back with Yarns and Armstrong at the end. So if we figure out a way to get Harmon to pair it with Judkins and Makuba, that's an A draft for me for sure. Harmon can take over and learn from Chris. Judkins is going to be a star in this league. And Makuba's just a dog, and our DB group has already got dogs in it. Him and Jaden together, oh my goodness. Dude's going to be scared to come across the middle with them two.
Yes, they would. I think Makuba makes a lot of sense in our split safety scheme as well. So that's what the draft. Oh, geez, if that's what the draft could look like if the Chiefs end up trading up for one, Mr. Derek Harmon. Let me get over here.
That's a guy I'm okay with trading up for, respectfully.
I'm running a different simulator, and I just saw Travion Henderson go at 12 overall, which is
Talk about realistic, huh?
something to watch right there. Let's see if I run this again. I'm trying to get to a specific scenario while we do this. I was going to ask any concerns here with not adding pass catching help until the 7th round?
No.
As we obviously talk about, obviously no. All right, perfect.
No, especially the way the news is kind of going about Rasheed right now. I feel pretty confident. Rasheed, Hollywood, and Xavier.
You built that receiver room for this reason, so you don't have to really reach for anybody. Only position we all agree that we're gonna probably definitely, if the option there to be aggressive, would be a running back. So,
and then I know y'all seen them Sky Moore training videos.
I hate you.
What? And this is afro. He got a fro, Sky Moore. He ain't got that cut no
I
more.
hate you so much.
He got a fro.
This.
Hey, the man ain't been to the barbershop in 2 months. DMac, nigga locked in. You know what it means when a man don't get a cut. He down there in that Texas heat with no haircut. That man different. That
bounce back season in full effect.
He's locked in like he ain't never been. I'm telling you.
And that Sky Moore is in the best shape of his career. Tweet in fucking June gonna hit like a shotgun shell to
And it's coming. You see the Twitter name right here. Follow me.
Yeah, follow me.
Sky Moore.
Sky Moore got an afro. He ain't got a cut in 2 months. That
Bounce
man
back
locked
season,
in.
baby.
If you living in Texas and you ain't got a haircut, boy,
The first catch he makes in training camp, I'm tweeting about it.
He don't care about nothing but football right now. That man locked in on a whole different level.
Care about nothing but football.
No haircut, no nothing, just straight ball. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Oh god.
Them one-on-ones in St. Joe about to get spooked. Line it up. Put them cleats on. Line it up.
In all seriousness,
y'all think it's sweet. Nah, I'm playing.
I do think that the way the receiver, I mean, even them bringing back Juju, I feel like kind of adds a fourth element that kind of knows this offense too. If all of them can stay healthy up to a certain extent, I feel confident.
Juju didn't even play for like a month, and then he came out of nowhere and got 80 yards. They ain't worried about him. So, like, I think they've established themselves in this receiver room now to where, like we just did in our mocks, we can be aggressive with 31 to trade back, 63 to trade up, 66 to trade up for one of these premier running backs that we all agree are definitely worth the pick if they are available for sure. And then you could attach that to being a elite D tackle, one of the premier tight ends that we like. I think those are the three positions I'm targeting with our first 3 picks: tight end, running back, and one of the D tackles. If they don't love the old tackles, for sure.
You know for sure they're adding a weapon.
They're getting one, either running back or a tight end. We getting one of them because our running back room needs speed and drive out the door, so you need one of them.
DG, you guys are only up about 17 points right now, and I'm disappointed.
Yeah, I know. Man.
They try to make it interesting for the kids.
You can't win every game by 50.
You can't embarrass them all the time.
Yeah,
all right.
You're playing the Grizzlies, so yes, I think you can.
Hey man,
the kids in the building got their little blue shirts on.
Josh just did some crazy layup, bro. I actually, you don't understand how badly I want the Grizzlies to crash out the playoffs, which obviously they're about to do. The Bucks just lost. Just trade John Moran and Giannis to the Nets. I think that's a good solution for how this would go.
He said John and Giannis. Like that's a package deal.
We got all the picks in the world. You can take all the Knicks draft. You can take the Nets draft. You can take the extra draft.
What the Bucks gonna do?
We ain't tanking properly, so might as well.
That was a crazy bucket from that.
He said John and Giannis. I can see if you said John. That one I understand. He said John and Giannis.
Why not? Giannis likes New York and he wants to come to Brooklyn.
What the hell the Bucks gonna do?
What they gonna do? Train them anyway.
Giannis said he ain't leaving unless he don't see no progress.
Exactly. So hey, There you go.
Now the job one,
Yeah.
I can see you with that one.
He's 15
I've
passing
seen him.
academy is going right now.
Yeah,
No, he mean like
Juju
is he
said that
like
he was
any-
down there, but I
right.
haven't seen him throwing with any specific
No
prospects.
draft picks yet for prospects about
Yeah,
it.
no
I haven't
draft
heard any
pick.
All
prospects.
guys on the team for sure.
Yeah, I have not heard any prospects throwing down there with Mahomes, and I think that it is worth saying, unlike maybe years prior,
We like our receiver room now.
well, that, and I think that the Chiefs don't have as extremely a screaming need to go get a wide receiver in the first one. Obviously, possibly exists. Then you would say than it was last year or the year before. Really,
All
matters.
you Veach haters, y'all like
Big
Rasheed
Ted.
Rice and Xavier Worthy now,
Big
huh?
Chet.
Yeah.
Big
Y'all-
Chet. Big Chet Holmgren.
Veach
All right.
knocked the receiver out the
My
park
bad,
past 2 years,
No,
boy.
you're good.
I'm
We are
telling
gonna get to the next mock draft scenario, and I think I have it set up here.
That's how you know the draft.
Hopefully,
Draft
yes,
ball.
hey, well, it is what
Y'all
it is.
get draft talk and NBA playoff
NBA
vibes.
Yeah.
We are going to go ahead and do the thing. We are taking Amarion Hampton at pick 31 for the Kansas City Chiefs.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow.
And we're going to see what this ends up looking like for what the draft could look like.
Nope.
No.
Next.
Nizzy.
Hell.
Nope.
Absolutely not.
Well,
The second is nice,
118?
but 118 is the thing.
no,
Who's
I
on the-
know
Can I
it doesn't.
see- can I
But
see
you
who's
can
available
still
first
pick.
before-
You can still pick at 66, 95, 118, 133,
Can I see
and
who's
get the
available?
Falcons second. I don't mind that
Can I see
selection.
who's
I'm not gonna lie
available
to you
first
guys.
before we accept it? Can I look at the board? Yeah, let me look. Okay.
Yeah,
Go to running backs and receivers, please.
well, we did just take a running back.
Oh yeah, you took. Oh yeah, you did.
No, let's
I'm
not
not
do
used to.
that.
I'm not used to that.
Hopefully, we will not double up on running back.
Go to tight end, please. Fergie still there. And Elijah. Okay, perfect. O tackles. Charles
there.
Grant is there. Logan's there. Okay. So both the tackles I like are there. Both the tight ends I like are there.
What's the running back? Oh, we already took a running back.
We took a Marion. Shamar Turner is
TJ
there.
Sanders
Okay.
and Alfred Collins.
I'm okay with trading back here because all the guys I like are still there. So I'm okay.
There's a lot of edges. Yeah, there's a lot of to pick from.
A lot of players we like. So except that. Go back to that trade. Yeah.
So here's the problem. A, there's a lot of people to pick, but B, obviously you have two picks right here. You can get two of these players. Like you get, if you theoretically, you could take.
What we doing?
Yeah, no, you could take Ariante Ursary and then get Omar.
But that second pick next year is gonna be nice though.
I know that's the issue.
That part was nice.
I could get talked into Omar Norman-Lott and Ariante Ursary here. I don't think there's anything crazy as far as what I know. People like Jared and Jay Higgins. He's fine. Even though I do like the tight ends, Elijah and Ferguson, I probably would not go tight end after going wide receiver first. So these next two picks could easily be Ariante Ursary and Omar Norman-Lott, and I'd be extremely happy about what that looks like. Now, I think according to this board, you're probably going to get some chances for some D tackles still at 95. That would make sense. And then we just push some of the other prospects down the board. So, DG, you're voting for sticking and picking and passing up on that Falcons trade. CJ, are you in favor of the Falcons trade or against it?
Based off the guys that are all available, I like the trade.
DG, I think I'm going to have to overrule you and say I like the trade a lot. Because I mean,
all the players were gone, DG, I would say pick somebody, but there's a lot of options.
And I do understand where DG is coming from because this board is very nice to have 63 and 66 to attack with, but the fact that I could still, I think, get some defensive line help later on in this draft, the fact that you already got running back out of the room, so you know you're not going to have to use 95 or 133 on it from that perspective. And that Falcons pick, they're not going to be competing for a championship. That Falcons pick is going to be in the teens, so you're getting a 40-ish second round pick in addition to having 2 fourths in the 2026 draft, in addition to having your Kansas City picks. I love what you're doing from that aspect. So I would in fact take that trade from the Atlanta Falcons and move on back and then and pick at 66. So board still looks the same. It appears Alfred Collins is gone. I'm sorry, DG. But I do have Omar Norman-Lott as my personal top defensive tackle. Obviously, TJ Sanders is also there. A guy like Jordan Birch also there as well. We have Chris Paul Jr., Danny Stutzman. I think we can wait on that. None of the corners have slid, in my opinion, so I'd pass on them there. Ariante Ursary is still on the board. I think based on the defense tackles, even though I tell you, I really like Omar Norm a lot, I would probably favor Ursary, in my opinion. How do you guys feel as far as that is concerned?
I think it would be Ursary just based off of them wanting to get a guy that they probably could develop and give that, red shirt year to allow him to kind of sit back and learn this offense a little bit. But I also think it's a guy that, if they wanted to move on from Jawan Taylor, they could plug in a right tackle as well too, and let him play there. I think he's definitely got the skills to play, a pretty good level in this league. But I do think that there's some development there that needs to happen for sure before he gets on the field.
Yeah, I think I agree with that. So this next pick, in my opinion, would have to be along the defensive line. Shamar Turner, obviously, we already took him. Joshua Farmer, Deion Walker, either one of those three picks would be useful here. Edge, I think Edge has been very well picked over, so I'd lean towards defensive tackle. We took Shamar Turner in this one, right? Double check. I'm pretty sure we took Shamar Turner.
I don't think so.
Yep, we took Shamar Turner. So let's go with Joshua Farmer. And this would just have some prospect diversity to switch it out as well. Then we'll get to 118 and see what the board kind of looks like. Deion Walker and Shamar Turner are still there, which I would not mind doubling up if you wanted to go with Deion Walker. Because he's honestly, I wouldn't mind doubling up if you want Shamar Turner, but I don't think there's a chance in heck that he's still here. If you wanted to go Jack Sawyer, that would be similar to the Baron Sorrell type of pick where you just know, hey, I'm getting this guy, and especially 118, that makes a lot of sense. He's going to play here day one. He can play, I should say. Early down rotational snaps, and it wouldn't be an issue. And again, that would allow you to be comfortable in cutting Mike Danna after this season. Obviously, CJ's guy, Danny Stutzman, is there. Not in love with any of the corners necessarily. Offense, as far as weapons are concerned, wide receiver's been picked over. Tight end still really only has Gunnar Helm and Gadsden. Mitchell Evans and obviously Conyers are down here. We've already taken tackle. I've taken running back. My vote is doubling up a D tackle or linebacker.
Danny, it is.
I know I was going to lose that face off, but we'll see if a guy gets it at 133. Well, that works for me. I'm good. I could be talked into any one of these three. I like CJ West. I could be talked in double up into CJ West. Jack Sawyer also went. Could do the Kobe Bryant thing, but then tight end's been taken
Mikey. Sorry. Royals watch now, y'all.
Yeah.
Switched over. Let's go CJ West, double up a D tackle and keep on rocking with it. I think if you're going to take a running back in the first round, that makes a lot of sense to double up a D tackle. Farmer and CJ West fit together. I like this draft a lot so far. And we'll get here. I think obviously we could look at cornerback, wide receiver, safety, DB or wide receiver as far as possible options here at 226. Wide receiver, Jimmy Hoare Jr., who obviously we just took. LaJohntay Wester. Kendry Lambert-Smith is a little bit different as far as the body type. So is Weiss Jr., obviously out of Mizzou. As far as DBs are concerned, Jamar Muhammad can make sense as a long-term nickel guy.
Yeah. I wouldn't mind him here in the 7th if that's what we're doing. But my pick would probably be receiver.
Yeah, I don't like any.
I wouldn't mind Wester or Jimmy Horn right here. I'd probably say Wester just for we already took Horn and another one.
Yeah. The thing about I like Theo Weiss more than like Wester.
Theo Weiss would be one too that I would probably look into.
Yeah, I like Theo Weiss more than I necessarily like Wester. I think we'll play the board a little bit here. I think we're going to be able to grab Theo Reese with that last 7th round pick. And I'm going to go ahead and grab Jabbar Muhammad to be a long-term nickel developmental DB as far as that is concerned. And then we're going to grab Theo Reese Jr. and finish out the board that way. First round, Amarion Hampton running back draft. We're going to go with that. Arianta Ursary falls to 66. Joshua Farmer and CJ Rest doubled up at 95 and 133 to add to the interior defensive line depth. Danny Stutzman at linebacker, Oklahoma. Obviously one of CJ's favorites and honestly one of our favorites in general. Jabbar Muhammad, long-term cornerback, DB, developmental guy, more of a nickel guy. At Oregon, Theo Reese Jr., wide receiver developed out of Missouri to be a little bit of a different body in the room. And the trade back, of course, from 63 to 118 ended up netting you Atlanta's 2026 second-round pick, which I love the idea of. So I feel very conflicted because I am the most staunch anti-first-round running back person you will find. But Amarion Hampton is my number one running back. And you got a 2026 Falcons second-round pick out of this.
Yeah,
so
I like it.
I would give this an A.
Yeah, I'll give it an A. I would definitely be in love with this.
If we got a second-round pick next year, you're starting running back, a potential starter at tackle. You got a day one linebacker, in my opinion.
Depending on where the Falcons finish, that second-round pick could be in the 40s or early 30s.
Yeah, I think you're talking probably not late 30s. I think they'll be better than that, but you're talking 40s. You're talking about picking 32, yes, 40s, and then 60, 63 or 64, then 96, and plus you have the Titans fourth round. Was it Titans? The Bears fourth round pick, which could be really useful. I love what you would come away with as far as that's concerned.
My God. No.
I just love the value.
No.
God. Oh.
You.
Sorry.
I was just gonna lay out.
Oh God.
Is he saved though? Oh, he should have just kept running.
Just kept going.
Yeah.
We're gonna go on, and I'm actually gonna make DG happy with this next one. But I do really like that draft as far as running back is concerned. And while we are here, if the Chiefs were to take Amarion Hampton, I mean that you're talking about supercharging the offense. That's what he can do day one, and everything you could ask for, taking advantage of space. He would just be an excellent addition to what this offense can need. As far as Amarion Hampton out of North Carolina, I don't think he falls that far, but if he does. If you end up with this type of draft, that would be something extremely impressive from that standpoint. Next one we're going to do is what if the Chiefs take a defensive back? And the one that is currently on the board here is going to make Mr. DG extremely happy about this.
They gotta. I'm sorry. I was about to say something.
It's damn.
They gotta rule that out, man. You shouldn't be able to block.
I hate when they be blocked every time.
You can't block the bag.
Move
man.
out the way. Dude, putting their whole knee in front of the
That should be
bag.
an automatic overturn.
That's not baseball, bro. You're blocking the bag. Like that's not baseball.
The Chiefs are going to take Jahdae Barron at 31 overall and go on with the rest of their draft.
Oh wow.
And are now on the clock at 63.
Wait, we really got? Oh my God!
He's there.
You've taken Jahdae Barron.
Draft is good. I'm done. We're out.
We're good.
I'm good. What y'all want to do?
We'll check tackle. You guys have been picked over. I'm not taking any of those other guys. We'll take defensive line. Tyreek Williams, I'm fine with here. I'm fine with. I would still take Alfred Collins over Tyreek necessarily. From that perspective, you would take the double Texas guys. Edge. I like Shamar Turner and Jordan Birch. Both those guys have gotten here as well. We could double up at the defensive line position. I think that would make a lot of sense. Trey Amos should not be here.
Yeah.
I would take Trey Amos and Trey. So as we had, let me go to the show draft just to make the point. So when I had continued to go through this, as I said, to see if any of the corners had fallen. The idea is if a guy like Maxwell Harrison, Benjamin Morrison, Azari Thomas, Sharon Ravel Jr., or Trey Amos had fallen in the draft 263, then those guys are almost automatic picks because of how much I love really all four of those guys and how much value that I think that they will provide. Trey Amos is actually a favorite of mine of the bunch there, and I think that he honestly could be worth the 31st overall pick, just not necessarily for what we need. But I do think that he is that good at Ole Miss. Obviously, we've taken Jahdae Barron, so we won't end up taking Trey Amos, unfortunately. I don't like the tackles. Tight end, you could go Royo, you could go Ferguson, of course. Wide receivers have been pretty well taken. Running back, neither of the Ohio State guys are here. So for me, guys, I'm taking a defensive line and an edge with these next two picks out of the guys that are currently here. And I'd probably go off of Collins.
Big boy, we Texas all day.
Pick here. Jack Sawyer would make sense. Jamar Turner could make sense. Jordan Birch could make sense. DG, do you have a preference between those three guys?
Say their names again.
Jack Sawyer, Jamar Turner, Jordan Birch.
It's probably Birch for me.
Inside out versatility, he certainly is the Spags guy as far as that is concerned. I'm good with that. We'll roll on to 95. They got him. It's edge 24. Good Lord. Do you guys think that Will Campbell is a top 4 overall guy as far as just everybody in the draft?
No,
I don't think so either. Hunter Carter. I personally have Membo as my.
I'll take Membo over Will. Yeah.
You know what we're rooting for. So we've gone all defense to this point. Jahdae Barron, Alfred Collins, and Jordan Birch. Obviously feels like we need to add some running back or wide receiver help. Both Caleb Johnson and Dylan Sampson are here, in addition to obviously RJ Harvey, DJ Giddens, Damian Martinez, Jordan James, etc. Wide receiver, still a little picked over. Torrey Hunton is there. Ty Felton is there. I think it's a little early for either one of those guys personally. Tight end. Friend Jr. is there. It's my personal favorite. Gunnar Helm is there, who I don't mind. Evans and Conyers are there. Tackle. Cameron Williams and Charles Grant are both there. If we wanted to district, and also I like Ozzie Trapilo out of Boston College.
I wouldn't mind Charles.
Yeah.
I'm cool with Charles too.
All right, we'll go with Charles. Charles Grant. Welcome to Kansas City. And then we're going to roll on. I think we're going to get to 133 here, and I think we can all pretty well agree that we're going to need to take a running back.
At that point.
Yeah, I think we agree there. And hopefully it appears we will have the chance to take my guy, DJ Giddens, out of K-State. I think we all agree that's a good pick, and we're going to roll on here. Pretty straightforward draft, I'd say. And we're going to the 7th round, of course. I think we can probably add some wide receiver help. I don't think that Mitch Evans might get there. Let's see. Let's keep on going. Good finish. While we are still here, obviously, we will be having our draft watch along Thursday and Friday night. We'll be getting started about a half hour before those draft nights start up. It'll be 6:30 Eastern time on Thursday, and it'll be 6:30 Central time on Thursday, and it'll be, is it 5:30? Yeah, it'll be 5:30 Central Time on Friday. For the first 3 rounds of the draft, we'll be watching and reacting to every one of the picks. Also, if you go to our Kingdom Cast account, I'll show you guys this a little bit later on. We're going to have our draft contest, and we'll also do the contest as we do at least for the first round, as we did last year as well. The Arrowhead PM group will be joining us. Obviously, we'll have us 3 and the Kingdom Cast crew alongside us as well. So we've gotten to the 7th round. I'm very much inclined to take either Conyers or Evans or Moliki, but I would probably go Evans and then Conyers as far as I was concerned. Wide receiver, we kind of look at the usual suspects as far as the wide receiver group is concerned when we get to the 7th.
Let's go.
Got a few guys that could be interesting from running back perspective. Nobody from that aspect. Sean Dolak would make some sense as far as linebacker is concerned. That got bright. Let's go tight end. CJ, yeah, Conyers or Mitchell Evans?
Conyers for sure.
Okay, go with Conyers. Shame. I think that Dolak is going to end up going here, but I do like Dolak a lot. No, I made it perfect. I'm not even going to ask. I'm just going to keep on going with that. And we will probably end up, I think we could double up a running back. A guy like Yarns or Targe Books. Did we take Yarns in the other one? We took Yarns in that one. I think we'll end with we'll end with Taj Brooks. Yeah, we're in. No, we're good. We're in with Taj Brooks to give us a little bit of a different look than DJ Giddens does. That's the end of it. Yep, that's the end of it. So, Chiefs. What if the Chiefs have Jahdae Barron follow them in the first round to be a cornerback? Out of Texas, they go and grab Alpha Collins at 66, Jordan Birch at Alpha Collins at 63. Jordan day one starter next to Chris Jones. Jordan Birch edge, really Spags edge where he can reduce inside if needed. Out of Oregon at 66, Charles Grant developmental tackle out of William Mary at 95. DJ Giddens at 133. Jalen Conyers, Sean Dolak, and Taj Brooks in the 7th round. Where would you guys grade this draft? I think I probably put it at a B minus. I think B minus would be where I put that.
I agree.
B minus solid. A plus for getting Jahdae, a developmental tackle, and Charles. DJ, I think he's going to be special. He's so slept on. Jordan Birch can be a starting DN for us as well. So Jalen Conyers is a very, very special project for me. And then, you made Pat extremely happy. You got 2 tech guys. Oh yeah, Pat gonna love this draft.
Yeah, we get Jahdae. Y'all won't see me night 2.
Bro, if we get Jahdae at 31, I'm buying a jersey off.
No need for me to show up night 2.
Bro, our secondary about to be elite, best in the league. I'm talking big cash. If we get Jahdae, y'all tripping. Jahdae and Trent on the same side. Throw the ball over there if you want to.
Mm-hmm.
Have fun.
Go ahead.
Throw it over there if you want to. Please, I dare you. I double dare you.
All right. Last one to finish up on. We are going to do the thing that's been rumored a lot, kind of recently picking up some speed. One that I do think is a very distinct possibility based on how the draft could end up falling and what could be available here. At pick 31, the Chiefs are taking Mr. Luther Burden III, wide receiver out of Mizzou, to kick off their draft. I'll be honest with you guys. I'm not going to think twice about it. I'm going to take Omar Norman. I like him that much. Okay. Now, on as far as this is concerned, this is why I'm sick and tired of using PFF. Ariana Tersary is here. We already took him. I'm inclined to go Ozzie Trapilo. That'd be different, but let's look at the other positions. So obviously look at corner, and edge. I guess we'll look at safety as well. But I don't think it's going to. We'll look at wide receiver and tight end just in case. We did already say Quinshawn, so I'm going to avoid doing that again, even though that would be also an automatic pick. And then really the tight ends, I would say, speak to me. And I can take wide receiver off here. And take tight end too. Okay, so We got Makuba, we got Ursary. Obviously, we got Quinshon Judkins, who would be an automatic pick. We got Trapilo. If you go weapon first, and let's say Omar Norman is secured after that, would you guys be shying away from either of the OSU running backs, specifically Judkins at 66?
Judkins all day for me, baby.
DG?
Yeah, Judkins for me too.
Quinshon, you a cheat, my boy. Bro, if we get Luther and Quinshon, bro, the 30 ball point games are back. We are back.
I mean, he could, but
the answer in this mock draft, Matthew Golden was a guy that ended up going to the Ravens. And then Derek Harmon went to the Bills. Look, Derek Harmon would be a great addition for the Bills. I think that the Ravens could go edge specifically over wide receiver as well. So I do think that there is a real possibility that Burden ends up going to the Chiefs. Now, could either of those teams take him? Sure. But I do think that if you ask specifically, hey, is there a possibility that Luther falls to 31? It sounds like that possibility is real. I also like Princely a lot. All right, Quinshon. You can double up on it. All right, we are now here at 95. The Chiefs have taken Luther Burden, Omar Norman Lotton, and Quinshon Judkins. I assume tight end would be on the board. We already took running back. Don't need to do that again. Offensive tackle would be on the board. Corner and safety would also be on the board, as well as edge and linebacker. So kind of looking at some of the options. We got Terrence Ferguson. Obviously, that is CJ's guy. Also got
Fergie.
Ashton.
Bro, if we got Luther, Quinshon, and Fergie, stop the draft right now, boys. This is A+.
I'm not gonna get. Do we take Ferguson in any of the other ones?
I don't think we did. We
not at 95. We did take him at 95.
We took him at 63 in the other
we
one.
took us. If we can get Quinshon and Fergie, bro, we would draft. Oh my God. Veach, put me on payroll right now.
I think I might only veto the Ferguson thing only because we've already done it at 63, and I think we're gonna add Ashton because he is an explosive edge to continue to build that out. I think Belton's fine, but I don't like him more than Ashton. So we're gonna go edge, get to 133. Got that for Gunnar Helm.
DG.
Sorry, say that again.
Drew for the walk-off.
What about Gunnar?
Gunnar Helm is here. No, I was just going through the options. Gunnar Helm is here. I didn't mean to press on that. I don't really like any of the quarterback aspects of it. Just took an edge. We got defensive line. We'll add tackle. Logan Brown. I'd go Gunnar Helm. Again, I think. Yeah, I think we could.
130. That's at 133.
Yeah, 133.
I'm fine with that. I don't love it, but
yeah, okay.
Good value though in the fourth round.
He almost made history, DG. He was right there. It's right there.
The linebacker and Dolak is there. We just took Dolak, didn't we? Yeah, we just took Dolak. I don't really like it either. So
We're at the 7th.
Yep, we're at the 7th round. Obviously, bring out the DBs. Zah Frazier I still like as well. Tommy Hill. We're gonna take Tommy Hill. Tommy Hill's a no-brainer there.
Shiloh Sanders, come on down.
Shiloh Sanders, you're a chief.
Absolutely freaking not. Ollie Gordon.
Can we look at receivers here too?
Yeah, who on the receiver board?
We got Theo here.
Theo.
Shepard.
We already took Luther, so don't be like another big guy. Arian Smith.
Where are the linebackers? Right here. Anybody that maybe slipped through the cracks.
No.
Jay is there. Fuck. Oh, there's Canada.
I think based on the current board, I would just say Jacoby Merritt, just to give you a little bit of a different look as far as the running back room is concerned, would make a lot of sense. Yeah, I could do this a poll. Was there anybody you guys loved as far as wide receiver or safety was concerned? I like Aubrey Brooks, but not more than that, like as a poll.
Shiloh Sanders.
Jacory or LeJounte right here if they're both not gone. And then Theo for sure too.
Look at the quarterbacks. Where were you at on quarterback?
Let's not do that.
Yeah, I mean those guys are gone.
Moose Muhammad, bro, he was a dog in college, but he's slow.
Don't you look at QBs?
Brady Cook.
Brady Cook, come on down.
Yeah.
Let's get that Brady Luther connection.
We're going to take as a poll. Who has a lot of athletic ability, can develop into a swing tackle as well. That I like the idea as well. Mike Green was on the board at 31. Good Lord.
Could you imagine the fan love of Brady Cook at training camp?
Boy, we would get every person in the state, every person in the city of Columbia would be at training camp every day.
Here's the problem. Luther Burden would strangle Brady Cook before he got to St. Joe's. Okay.
He would say, "Don't you ever throw me the football at any point in camp. I don't care. Don't you ever."
Let's see what the Chiefs mock draft would look like if the Chiefs were to go Luther Burden in the first round. Get Omar Normalat in the second. Quinshon Judkins at 66. Ashton Gillott out of Louisville at 95. Explosive edge. Gunnar Helm, tight end out of Texas at 133. Tommy Hill, Jacory Krosky, Merritt, and Isapol out of Washington State to round out the seventh round. I would give this draft a B plus. What about you guys?
It's between a B plus and an A for me.
B plus. If we would have got Fergie at 95, it would have been an A plus, baby.
I know it would have been for you.
Yeah, love the Burden pick. Love the Judkins. So.
I believe I have, unfortunately. Let me see something real quick. Hopefully, I can pull it back up. Please work. There we go. All right, perfect. All right, so I am going to ask you guys which one of your favorite. Obviously, you guys have now seen what that looks like. We have this one. Chiefs trade up for Derek Harmon, Quinshon Judkins, Eric Makuba, Cy Frazier, Logan Brown, Andrew Armstrong, and Marshall Yarns. We have there we go. We have the Jahdae Barrett, Alfred Collins, Jordan Birch, Charles Grant, GJ Giddens, Jalen Conyer, Son Dolak, and Taj Brooks selection. We have the trade up for Josh Simmons, taking Ferguson, tied in the second round. Shamar Turner, D-line, RJ Harvey, Jack Kaiser, Jimmy Horn Jr., and Melvin Smith Jr. Be trade up with the Minnesota Vikings for Josh Simmons. And then finally, the one for me, the running back, Omar and Hampton, Arianti Ursary, Joshua Farmer, Danny Stutzman, CJ West, Jabbar Muhammad, Theo Reese, and the Falcons' second round pick. Which one do you guys like the best?
The trade up for Harmon or the Lucas?
I think it's
Those are my top two.
One with Luther in it. And I'd probably say I'm a little bit biased. The one with Jahdae as well too.
Mm-hmm. And that it's weird for me to say, but I think that because of the mechanics of it, I think my favorite would be the Amar and Hampton draft.
Yeah, I like this one too.
That was a good one too.
I like this one, the value that you got in this one.
Yeah,
especially for next year too.
I do like the value, and I think that Luther Burden draft. Well, actually, I'd probably go with the Hampton one, the Josh Simmons one, and then the Luther Bird draft. Because I do think that if you do solve left tackle, I think that's a massive value. That you get Ferguson and Shamar Turner and R.J. Harvey, and kind of the rest doesn't necessarily matter as much from that perspective. So that's where I'd kind of land. That was fun. Now we are going to finish out. Let me make sure I save these because if I don't, I'm gonna be upset. Real quick predictions from you guys. I'm not gonna ask you guys anything too crazy, but just real quick predictions as far as this is concerned for questions for the first round of the draft. How many quarterbacks go over under 2.5?
In the first round?
Yep.
Over under 2.5. I'll take the over.
CJ?
Over.
I'm going to go under. Where does Ashton Genty go? Obviously, Raiders, Bears are possibilities of the teams.
I'm calling it Bears. I know a lot of people have a mock to the Raiders, but I think the Bears move up. Or were they at 10?
Yep.
I can see the Bears taking them at 10.
Ben Johnson gets his RB1, Bears.
Okay. I think I definitely agree with that possibility. And last one. Who do you think makes the most frustrating pick as far as, AFC guys that we have to contend with? Bengals at 17, Broncos at 20, Chargers at 22, Ravens at 27, Bills at 30.
Ravens taking Malachi Starks. It's going to be annoying as hell.
Yeah, it would be.
I'm not trying to see him come.
I would be intrigued on what the Broncos are going to do as well too. I think they had a stellar offseason as well too. So then I think they continue to build for that that young core that they have out there. So.
I think that I think that for me personally, if the Bengals get either Nolan or Harmon, that'd be extremely frustrating. If the Broncos take Hampton or Broden, that'd be incredibly frustrating. But I wouldn't say incredibly frustrating. It would just be annoying because I know of how explosive that offense would then look with either one of those guys. You guys saying, the Ravens add Malachi Starks, if he gets all the way to 27, which it sounds like there's a possibility, that'd be annoying. I did not include the Texans because the Texans don't have an offensive line. And the Bills, if the Bills get Omar and Hampton, I'm going to say Omar and Hampton. If the Bills take probably really, again, kind of similar to the Bengals. If you take either Nolan or Harmon right before us, that would also be frustrating. So that would kind of be the way that I looked at it as far as that's concerned. So, all right. I ain't got anything else. We will obviously talk to you guys on Thursday night and have a lot of fun as far as that is concerned. Like I said, we're going to be able to stream the entire draft and talk to you guys as far as that is concerned and walk you through each one of the picks, how it affects the Chiefs, what we're looking for as far as the Chiefs, and see if we end up getting some trades in between now and then as well. Make sure you guys go over to Underdog Fantasy, use code TRUTH3 for $100 deposit match or code KingdomCast. Obviously, we're in the midst of NHL playoffs, NBA playoffs, baseball's in full swing. A lot of things to bet on over there at Underdog as well. Be on the lookout. I have a fantasy stay scheming preview up on the channel. Go ahead and check that out if you haven't had the chance to. Did that with my guy Manny. We will have a Red Friday space coming up on Friday as well. Be on the lookout for Kingdom Cast accounts. We obviously tweeted all of our I should throw that on the screen really quickly. We tweeted out our predictions. Hold on 1 second. I'm sorry. And we'll have more of those coming out as well. The Kingdom Cast squad has theirs that will be dropping too. We will continue to have the final of our Chiefs fits. I think the final CJ one dropped today, I believe. Yes. The final CJ fit dropped today with Mr. Terrence Ferguson, who obviously you heard him talk about a lot on this podcast. DG will have his final one tomorrow. I will have my final one on Thursday as well. I'm going to share the screen as far as this is concerned. this is who we're looking at as far as our predictions are concerned. Let me grab this real quick because that was mine earlier. There's mine. Obviously, I'm taking Josh Simmons in the first round, DJ Giddens in the third round, and Noah Williams out of Cal in the fourth round. That's my prediction. This doesn't need to be twice. And DG is taking Walter Nolan in the first round, Quinshon Judkins in the second round, and Danny Stutzman in the third round. And CJ's projection are Derek Hartman in the first round, Charles Grant in the second round, and Devin Neal in the fourth round. So we'll see what ends up happening. And like I said, we'll have predictions coming out for the Airhead crew and the Kingdom Cast crew. So without anything else, guys, anything else you guys got to say before we go and get on out of here?
No, sir. Be easy, y'all.
48 hours. Let's go. Pull up and play back. Pull up.
Yes. Please do pull up the playback.tv. We will be playing, or I should say streaming primarily out of there. So please do pull up, come in the chat, have some conversations. We'll be having some fun. Also, we'll be back here on Tuesday night to recap what the Chiefs end up doing in the draft on the weekend, man. Please do have fun. Obviously enjoy it. Hope springs eternal. Chiefs Kingdom. Peace.